Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props that I like over on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Saturday, March the 1st. We got a 6-game slate on Saturday, guys. I've got some early player props that I do like for this game. Taking a first look at the Prizepicks board on Saturday morning. I'm recording this video the morning of. Typically, try and do these videos the night before, but last night there weren't a ton of props up when I was going to make my video, so I figured I'd just wait till Saturday. We got 2 plays to talk about, guys, that I do like for today. Taking a first look at the board, and as always, we're going to break down these plays and talk through why I like them. Now, before we do get started, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. If you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, be sure to sign up for Prizepicks and use promo code NOAH when you do. When you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first lineup, you'll get $50 worth of promo funds when you sign up, make a deposit, and play that $5 lineup. So you play $5, you get $50 worth of promo funds. So definitely check out Prizepicks if you guys have not yet. Use that code NOAH when you do sign up. And also, do want to shout out Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. And Sleeper has a new promo. Play $5, get $55. So this is a cool promo Sleeper does where you sign up, make a deposit. You don't have to put in a bunch of money. And I know a lot of people who are getting into sports betting, daily fantasy, whatever it may be. A lot of these new people who are trying this out, they don't want to put in a bunch of money, and I totally understand that. So on Sleeper, you can download their app, sign up, make a deposit, use code NOAH, just put in like 15, 20 bucks. It doesn't matter if you win or lose that $5 lineup that you start off with, you're going to get $55 worth of free lineup. So this is a cool way to try and make some money, build a little bit of a bankroll up over on Sleeper. If you guys don't have a Sleeper account, again, use that code NOAH when you do sign up for Sleeper. But let's go ahead and talk through these plays that I'm liking for Saturday. Now, I do want to recap the props that we gave out in Friday's video before we go over today's plays. So we hit 2 of our 3 plays on Friday. Unfortunately, couldn't get a full sweep. We took Nickeil Alexander-Walker over 22.5 PRA. NAW had a pretty solid start to the game. I think he had like 8 PRA in the first quarter, but he didn't really do much after that, and especially in the second half, he didn't really do much. Love the matchup, though, for him against the Jazz. Love the role that he was going to have without Anthony Edwards. He's been really good in the games that Anthony Edwards has missed this season. He played like 34, 35 minutes, just wasn't very productive, at least not late in the game. He did start off the game pretty well, but didn't really do much after that. But we did hit on Trae Young under PRA, also hit under points, whichever one you took, both of those cashed. And then we took Nick Richards over 17.5 points plus rebounds, which also was a sweat-free cash. I think that hit in the first half. Richards had a huge game once again yesterday. But yeah, we hit 2 of our 3 plays on Friday. Didn't quite get the full sweep. Hopefully you guys were still able to make a little bit of money, though. Let's see if we can go 2-0 on these 2 picks for Saturday. So looking at the board for today, and the first prop that I do like for this slate is going to be a fantasy score prop. So if any of you guys are new to Prizepicks and you don't know how fantasy score works, it's a scoring system that basically accounts for fantasy points. So you can see how the fantasy points are calculated. If you just click scoring chart and scroll down, you can see fantasy score is calculated this way. For every point, you get 1 point. So pretty self-explanatory. For every rebound, you get 1.2 points. For every assist, you get 1.5 points. If you get steals and blocks are worth 3 points each. And then for every turnover a player has, they do lose a point for turnovers. But the scoring system is very self-explanatory. If any of you guys are in my Patreon, you know that fantasy score is a stat type that I really like to take advantage of, because fantasy score is it's a stat type that Prizepicks has to come up with themselves. Points, props, PRA, rebounds, these are lines that Prizepicks can copy directly from sportsbooks. The sportsbook will set a line, they'll set a price on that line, and Prizepicks can set the line exactly how the sportsbooks have it. Obviously, there's a ton of sportsbooks out there. There's a ton of data that goes into setting lines on sportsbooks. Well, when it comes to fantasy score is a little bit different because there's not really any sites out there. I mean, there's other DFS apps that do fantasy score, but for the most part, fantasy score lines are being set by the site. They have to come up with the lines themselves. So there can always be some edges with fantasy score. I like to really heavily tone in on fantasy score props. It's something that I've been doing for a long time. And one fantasy score prop that I do like for today that did stand out is Mark Williams. We're going to take Mark Williams for more than 37 fantasy scores. So if we look at what Mark Williams has been doing lately, obviously it doesn't look great because you do see a lot of red in that last 5 games chart. But man, you don't want to be looking at last 5 games much at all because there's so much context that goes into every game. And if we look at a lot of these games where Mark Williams went under, first off, the last few games he has not played full minutes because the Hornets have been getting blown out. Like this game against Golden State, he played 25 minutes. Typically, Mark Williams plays like 32, 33 minutes, somewhere around there, usually like 30 to 32. But he only played 25 minutes against Golden State because they lost that game by like 36 points, I think. The game against Portland, he only played 21 minutes. They lost that game by like 60. I mean, they got destroyed. The game against the Lakers, he didn't really play that well, but he did get full minutes. He played 29 minutes. And then the game against Milwaukee, he only played 25 minutes. That was also a pretty tough matchup. I mean, Milwaukee's a really good defensive team against centers. But we saw Mark Williams finally get back to full minutes last game against Dallas in what was a competitive game. And he had a great game, 49.7 fantasy points, played 30.5 minutes, 26 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. Did have 5 fouls in those 30.5 minutes, so he might have even lost some minutes for foul trouble. But either way, I think we know we're going to probably get around 29 to 30 minutes from Mark Williams here, barring foul trouble, barring a blowout. And if we look at what Mark Williams has done this season, when he's played at least 30 minutes, he's been able to go over it. Or actually, if you look at what he's done when he's played at least 28 minutes, he's been able to go over this line in a lot of games this season with 28 plus minutes. So I believe he's played 15 games this season. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. So he's played 14 games this season with at least 28 minutes. He's gone over this fantasy score line in 10 out of those 14 games. And if you look at games where he's played at least 30 minutes, he has had 40.6, 49.7, 42, 51, 50, 48, 58, 55, 33, and 58 fantasy points. So when he's played at least 30 minutes, he's gone over this line in every game except one. And the one game he went under was against the Lakers. That was back on January 27th. That was back when the Lakers still had Anthony Davis. So obviously the matchup there was not great for Mark Williams. Well, this matchup against the Wizards is probably one of the best matchups you can get. The Wizards have been a terrible defensive team this season. They have one of the worst defensive ratings in the league. They've also been a great matchup for centers because they give up so many points around the rim. They give up a ton of points in the paint. This season, the Wizards are giving up the 4th most points in the paint. And if we look at what they've allowed to centers, they're giving up the most points per game to centers, the 2nd most rebounds per game to centers, and they're giving up the most fantasy points per game to centers. These teams have already played 3 times this season, and Mark Williams has been great in all 3 of those games. Now, one of the games he played against Washington earlier this season was back when he was still on a minutes limit. He was only playing like 20 minutes per game, but he put up 33 fantasy points in only 19 minutes against the Wizards earlier this season. Then he faced them again, put up 36 fantasy points in 26 minutes, and then last time he faced the Wizards, he played full minutes, 32 minutes, and had 48.8 fantasy points. So Mark Williams has been great in this matchup historically. He's been great points per minute wise in this matchup. Williams has been a great points per minute player this year. He's averaging a career high in fantasy points per minute. He's just been super, super active, super productive when he's been on the floor. The matchup is about as good as it gets. This is a game that should stay competitive. It's got like I think a 4 or 5 point spread, or 3.5 point spread. So this is a game that projects to be close. When Mark Williams gets 30 plus minutes in close games, I'd bet on him going over 37 fantasy score more times than not, especially in a matchup like this one, which sets up so well for Mark Williams because everything that Mark Williams is good at, scoring around the rim, rebounding, that's what the Wizards struggle with. So the matchup is really, really good here. So we're going to take as our first prop for today, and then the other prop that I like is going to be a prop on Kelly Oubre. So we're going to take Kelly Oubre for more than 22.5 points plus rebounds. So once again, we've got no Joel Embiid for the Sixers today, and in fact, Joel Embiid has actually been ruled out for the rest of the season. So we're going to see Kelly Oubre have a pretty big role the rest of the season for the Sixers, as long as they don't start tanking or anything and start resting guys, which at this point in the season, it's not quite tank season yet, but we might see the Sixers start tanking a little bit, in a few weeks if they have no shot of making the play-in, which it looks like they're probably not. But when you look at what Kelly Oubre has been able to do this season without Joel Embiid, he has been really good in the games he's played without Joel Embiid. In fact, he has gone over this PR line, and I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9 out of his last 10 games without Joel Embiid. The one game he went under was against the Kings. He had 15 points and 6 rebounds, so 21 PR in that game. But yeah, 9 out of his last 10 games without Joel Embiid, he's gone over this PR line. And Oubre's been playing really, really big minutes lately. He's had a huge role. You look at his minutes just as of late. Last game was a competitive game against the Knicks. He played 42 minutes. The game before that against the Bulls was a blowout, and he still played 33 minutes in a blowout. In a competitive game against Brooklyn, he played 38 minutes. A game against Boston where they lost by 20, he still played 35 minutes. Close game against Brooklyn, he played 39 minutes. Close game against Toronto, he played 39 minutes. This game against the Warriors does have an 8-point spread, so it's kind of teetering on, competitive game, blowout. Like it's kind of right in that mix. Typically, when games start to get like double-digit point spreads, that's kind of when you have to worry about blowout. I think this game with an 8-point spread should be close enough to where Oubre plays his full minutes. And right now, when he gets full minutes, full minutes for Oubre is like 40, because like Nick Nurse is just playing these guys a ton of minutes right now. Oubre is getting run into the ground. The matchup here against the Warriors, I would think, probably like not the greatest. The Warriors defensively have definitely been good lately, but this is a game that I think will probably play small. With the Sixers not having Joel Embiid, they're going to be a lot more likely to play some small ball. I think we could see Oubre's rebounding numbers see a little bit of a tick up if this game does wind up playing kind of some small ball. And Oubre's rebounding numbers have been really good lately, especially in the games he's played without Joel Embiid. He's rebounded the ball pretty well. Like if you look at his over that 10-game stretch, the games he's played without Joel Embiid, he's had 13 rebounds, 12 rebounds, 8, 6, 7, 13, 11, 3, 8, 5. So like he's had really good rebounding numbers to go along with really good scoring numbers as well. Minutes are through the roof. Like you can check a lot of boxes here for Kelly Oubre. The one thing I think you could knock is that the matchup against Golden State is probably not the best on paper, but the role is just so good right now. The usage is going to be there without Joel Embiid. Like the spot a lot for Kelly Oubre. Going to take him for more than 22.5 points plus rebounds. So we got 2 early plays, guys, that I like for this slate on Saturday, 6-game slate. As always, guys, I will have more Prizepicks plays for today. I do provide those every day over on Patreon. So if you guys want more Prizepicks plays from me, check out the Patreon. That's linked down below in the description. But hopefully we can hit both these plays that we gave out here for free on YouTube for you guys. Hopefully go 2-0 on these 2 picks. But as always, guys, appreciate you watching. Hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And go check out Prizepicks as well, guys. If you're not signed up for Prizepicks yet, use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up. And when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first $5 lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck as always. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Let's win some money tonight.